When a genius teen snaps.
Okay?
Okay.
Alright, I need
Okay,
to
move the gun. What do I need to do? Help me,
do
please.
not touch anything else other than what I am telling you to touch. Somebody needs to open the door. I have units on the scene.
My son's trying to come again. Please, please. No, no. Okay, hang on.
Somebody go unlock the door.
Hang on, don't shoot you. Don't. Please, come quick, please.
The 911 call you just heard was placed by James Allen Brazell just 6 days before Christmas in 2016 when he heard gunshots coming from somewhere in his family home. Allen raced through the house to find his stepdaughter Ashley and her 16-year-old brother Sonny standing over her with a gun in hand. His wife Nicole screaming in the background. Allen frantically called for help. As haunting as the 911 call was, the interrogation would turn out to be even more chilling. 16-year-old Sonny proves to be one of the most stoic and emotionless suspects we've ever seen.
He biting his
It's
nails.
hard to reconcile how someone like Sonny, with an IQ of 155 to 160, described as highly to exceptionally intelligent, has landed in this seat. When police arrived on the scene, they found the festively decorated exterior of the house masking a horror scene inside. In an exclusive interview, Allen and Nicole Brazell recount what they can remember from that terrifying night. Later, we'll hear from Sonny himself.
Ashley said she was going to go to bed. Sonny was going to go to bed. He's been awake too all day and at work. So everybody was kind of tired. Allen was already, I think, in the bedroom. I think he came and told everybody good night. I went straight into the room. I just heard and put on my robe, and I think Ashley was going to go ahead and eat some soup that I had cooked. As soon as I go to sit down on the bed, the light's already off in the bedroom, I hear what I think is firecrackers. It's all my mind. Pop, 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 firecrackers. Sonny being such a mild kid and Ashley they both were kind of like little professors, responsible kids. They got great grades in school. I know that I bought firecrackers for New Year's Eve. And I'm thinking, I cannot believe one of them let off firecrackers, because I hear Ashley say, Sonny, very surprised, in shock. That's all I hear through the door. And then I hear firecrackers. So I throw back on my robe, because I don't have clothes. I throw back on my robe. Allen jumps up, and so I go to go outside. I mean, I am furious. Like, what? Who let off firecrackers in the house? What? I can't even believe they would do this. Either one. I don't even think either one would do it.
I was closest to the door going out into the hallway. And whenever I heard it, pretty much immediately I knew what it was, because I am a
country boy.
I'm a country boy. I'm a hunter, and I have guns, and I've always had guns. So I immediately knew what it was, but I didn't put it that it was somebody from in the house, like Ashley or Sonny. I thought somebody had came in the house.
So my first question, just off the dome, is first, is it his gun? And secondly, what made Sonny do that? Like, was Ashley just being a fucking asshole?
Like a break-in. So I immediately reached down and grabbed my handgun and started toward the door. And something told me, don't take your gun out there. And of course, you have these conversations with yourself really, really fast. Like, are you crazy? I'm not going out there, because I knew it was gunfire. And I'm like, I'm not going out there without some kind of protection. Heard it again pretty much, don't take your gun out there, put it down. So I put the gun down and I kind of tossed it on the bed and headed out the door. And when I got there, I immediately saw Sonny standing there, and he had a gun in his hand. Of course, I didn't know where he got the gun, because it was a Christmas present that I didn't know about. So I yelled at him. I said, Sonny, I said, put the gun down. He was immediately yelled at him. I said, Sonny, because I saw Sonny standing, headed out the door. And when I got there, I immediately saw Sonny standing there, and he had a gun in his hand. Of course, I didn't know where he got the gun. But
okay, I just want to see all these pictures that it's showing. Like, bro, you just got bullets and you got your guns just laying around everywhere. But stay been obedient kids, and it's not your gun. I'll cut you some slack right there. But that could be some type of like motivation to do that, because he's seeing all of this shit. You know what I'm saying?
The Christmas present that I didn't know about. So I yelled at him. I said, Sonny, I said, put the gun down. He was immediately obedient, as he always was. And he leaned down, he put the gun down, and I kind of grabbed him by his shirt and kind of scooted him or slung him over to the side up against the hallway there. And I said, you stand right here. I said, and do not move. He did. He just stood there. He didn't say anything, but he stood there. So we went to check on Ashley. That's when she went in.
This is
there.
all in a matter of like
Right.
instant seconds. I'm like, Ashley, because I see I don't realize that I'm still looking for like a firecracker damage. I know this sounds strange, but the mind, like I'm still stuck on firecrackers.
It was at this point that Sonny's stepfather rushed back to the bedroom to find his cell phone and call for help.
Man, bro, I don't care about it. I don't.
That exact minute, I guess Sonny bends down, picks up that gun again. It's on the ground. He's a little bit away from it. I have pulled Ashley from the couch, I'm a tall gal, but she was only about 5'5", lightweight, but I tried to pull her from the couch, and I realize Sonny's grabbed the gun. He runs to our bedroom. So I start screaming for Alan, oh my God.
Sonny, don't do it. Sonny, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it, Sonny. I'm not the kind of person, son. Don't do it.
This man runs through the house and runs to the bedroom.
Sonny, and he took off to the bedroom, and I turned around and I saw him go to the bedroom. I started toward the door. Sonny had ran around our bed to the furthest point away from the doorway. He was staring straight ahead at the door, but he was trying to change the clip in the gun, to change the magazine in the gun, because he had shot everything out of the first clip whenever he was in the living room. He's holding the gun. He's holding both of the magazines in his hand, and he's not looking down to see what he's doing. And, of course, he had never handled this gun before. So by the time I ran over there, he pushed the magazine into the gun, and he stuck the gun up to my chest from where I was at this point in time.
If you
I
don't
was
disarm
up
that
right in
little
front of
skinny
him,
shit.
and I was fixing to grab a hold of him. And he was just kind of staring straight ahead, and he just started pulling the trigger. He had put the same magazine back in that he started with that was empty. If he had gotten the right magazine, I wouldn't be here today. I definitely wouldn't have made it.
Why the fuck she
Right,
acting
the same
like-
magazine back in that he started with that was empty.
Of course it was the
If he
empty
had
one.
gotten the right
Dumbass.
magazine, I wouldn't be here today. I definitely wouldn't have made it. And so I snatched the gun and everything out of his hands, and I grabbed him and just kind of walked him into the living room and set him.
You smacked the fuck out of you just beat your fucking child after that. You just beat him. You just beat him. You just beat him. You just beat the fuck out of that child, bro. I know that just might drive the child to do more dumbass shit, but at the end of the day, bro, he just pulled a gun out on you. He was just standing over his stepsister. You gotta beat the fuck out of that kid.
The little love seat, and he was kind of looking over the living room where Nikki was still in there with Ashley on the floor.
And he's still in dad mode. He says, sit right there and don't move, which is shocking to me because of the situation. And the most wicked, horrible, heart-trembling, terrorizing thing happened. I'm doing this, and I look up. He's trying to unlock the door so then the police come and get a towel. And I'm frantic. His eyes are all the dark. Suddenly, now this is someone I've been with just 30 minutes. This is my son.
Nigga been on
Right?
Adderall?
We've all been eating and snacking and on a video chat. Everything around here has become dark black. And the voice that comes out of the mouth says, because I'm literally hysterical at this point. I'm screaming, what happened? Ashley, answer me, because there is no, you would think if a whole clip, right, there would be blood, right? There's none. I'm screaming, Ashley, what happened? What happened? What happened? I hear the most darkest, deep voice say, she can't talk to you. She's dead.
When police finally arrived to take control of the scene, they found bullets behind the couch and in the storage drawer beneath it. The gun was found in the master bedroom, where Sonny's stepfather had left it after taking it from him. Police were put in the peculiar predicament
So,
of...
man, you keep that shit up. You keep that shit put up to where your kids shouldn't even know that you own firearms. I get it that you go hunting, but that's different, man. It's different when you going hunting. But it's such thing as buckshots and shit, right? Like, not real guns, but guns that can kill animals. All that real shit, bullets that I'm seeing photographed and shit, you keep that shit in a safe, man. You don't just have that shit out, bro.
having both a suspect and
But
weapon.
like I said, bro, it's kind of weird. It's kind of different because it's just different, man. It's just different. It's just different, dude.
Already established before they arrived. As paramedics raced to save Ashley's life, Investigators arrested Sonny Kim and took him to be questioned before he learned his sister's
That nigga got
fate.
possessed.
Please note that throughout the interview, police addressed Sonny by his middle name, Christopher. The following never-before-seen footage has been analyzed by a qualified team, including a licensed professional counselor, a licensed clinical psychologist, and a licensed attorney. Sonny spends a good deal of his time waiting to speak with officers, conversing with himself. While the audio isn't easily discernible, he appears to be talking about computers.
Yeah, it was their top. It was supposed to be. I think it's computer. So it's supposed to be $500 for their seven whatever. Max speed of 600.
Is he on Adderall? He's probably on Adderall. He's on Adderall. Nope, this guy. He could look. He could be trying to play insane. Like he could try to like play crazy. That's what he's probably doing, or he's actually fucking crazy.
Okay.
Hey, Christopher. Hey, my name's Josh. I'm calling Josh. I'm an investigator with Columbia County. How you doing, man? Okay.
In Georgia, a minor may be taken into custody during a lawful arrest. Georgia law states that a law enforcement officer taking a child, or in this case, 16-year-old Sonny, into custody, must promptly notify the parent, guardian, or legal custodian about why the child is being brought into custody. Once in custody, if the police want to question the minor, they may do so without the parent present, as there doesn't appear to be a definitive law that states parents must consent to interrogation of their minor child. While police may interrogate the minor without parental consent, the court will still determine if any statements made under a Miranda waiver are admissible. With this all in mind, the officer is free to get to the heart of the matter. He jumps right in and asks about the victim, Sonny's sister, Ashley.
Tell me about your sister.
Actually, Kim. I believe she was 22. She lived in Colorado. She recently broke up, lost her job, broke up with boyfriend. I think his name is. Who it is? She came back over here for Christmas.
Okay.
After attending a concert in Atlanta, which she remembered 3 days ago, I believe she left, something like that. As far as Ashley goes, that's it. Any particular information?
Chillingly, Sonny uses the past tense when discussing his sister, even though he has no way of knowing her current medical status.
I mean, has she been in
That
town
shit
long?
went completely over my head.
Only for a few days.
When did she move out of Colorado?
I believe it was like about a year ago-ish. And then she got a job, I think, as a secretary, something about this one. Yeah, I think it was a secretary. Paperwork stuff.
Paperwork stuff, boring stuff, right?
Yeah, sorting stuff, things like that.
I understand.
The officer switches back to asking about Sonny. Just like when he was asked about his sister, Sonny gives a superficial, impersonal answer.
From what I gather, you have a job, you work, and you've already kind of graduated high school.
Yes.
Can you tell me a little bit about yourself?
16 years old, male.
Stating that he's 16 years old male is a highly atypical manner of speech, and an indication that Sonny may be completely detached from what just happened with his sister, since this description of himself seems to be made in third person.
All right, guys, this is literally like one of the coolest parts I love about his setup.
Normally, extremely sophisticated individuals, they tend to have their mind kind of works differently from other people. So, I mean, this can probably be understandable, but just off him being like extremely smart, but I don't know. I'm just gonna keep watching it.
Where'd you go to high school?
I was homeschooled for the most part.
Okay. And then you finished up and taking some classes at GMC?
Yep.
All right. And do you have a job?
Yes.
Where do you work?
Computer exchange.
Do you really?
Yes, on Washington, bro.
Been there a couple times. Really nice. Good service over there. Always been pleased with the work that I've done on my computers.
Notice how intense his eye contact is. Normally, this can be an indication that someone is watching to see if the other person accepts what they're saying, especially in the case of a lie, as someone wants to see if they're being believed. But Sonny has no reason to be looking for acceptance given what he's saying. Instead, this might indicate that he has some kind of social skills deficit, and he's been taught to make eye contact rather than naturally making some eye contact as part of typical conversation. He comes across as robotic so far.
Mm-hmm.
Here we see the officer once again attempting to connect with Sonny on a personal level by establishing common ground and building rapport.
Yeah, I see.
Just like before, though, Sonny doesn't appear to care and does not respond as the officer had likely hoped. With that technique rendered pointless, the officer is forced to ask Sonny more direct questions, and his response is disturbing, to say the least.
I wanted to talk to you about the events that happened tonight, okay? Can you walk me through everything that happened tonight, Christopher? Kind of start at the beginning?
Sure. So I suppose the beginning is yes. Well, a bit of pretext, I suppose.
Okay.
We had planned to get my father a new 1911 .45 caliber pistol. About a week ago, we picked it up from the academy. We were hiding it in Milo until we could package it and put it under the tree. Basically, well, yesterday night.
I don't know. Look, I'm not really informed on gun laws in different states, but I'm guessing it's legal for him to have a gun at 16. As a father, like what the.
But earlier, I forget. What did
Couple hours ago?
Yeah, a couple hours ago. It's not but
This interaction shows that Sonny may not be oriented to time, which could be considered typical given the stress of the situation. He may not show any overt signs of distress, but the way he described himself a couple of minutes ago, plus his lack of awareness of exactly when he shot his sister, are indications of emotional distress.
Walked out of the room with the gun loaded. First magazine was the one with the extended grip, 8 rounds in it. Well, there was 7 rounds in it and one in the chamber, and then the second mag in my left pocket. This one here was 7 rounds in it.
In your left pocket?
Yes.
Front pocket or back pocket?
Front pocket. I also had a pair of gloves on. Yes, a pair of work gloves-ish. Velcro here-ish and here-ish.
Sonny is clearly a detail-oriented guy, as he describes his gloves. Sometimes suspects may provide these types of unnecessary details out of nervousness and their desire to cooperate with the interrogation process. Sonny must at least be aware that he's in trouble, so it makes sense that he wants to be cooperative. At the same time, his mention of being male and the other details he's provided thus far could also give us a clue as to his personality type. Possibly very rigid and perfectionistic.
Yeah, exactly.
After that, I walked out to the living room and I turned left. I saw my sister and I put about 8 rounds into her chest from here, torso.
Sonny says ish again. This also indicates his high degree of rigidity and precision in the way he thinks and speaks. Sonny also maintains his highly formal and rigid manner of speaking, as if he was providing step-by-step instructions to someone or telling a story. He's markedly detached from the actual event. His voice remains even, and he still is showing no signs of overt stress.
After that, both of my parents ran from their bedroom door. I came up the stairs.
Yeah, man, it just sounds like he's giving like a presentation or some shit in school.
Behind the door, held both the gun and the magazine in my hands, and then dropped them on the floor while they were watching me after they come out. My mother rushed to my sister's body. My father started calling 911 or 911.
The way that Sonny presents being really out of touch with reality and definitely out of touch with emotions and empathy is similar to another case, that of Michael Hernandez. Michael told investigators that he wasn't angry when he killed his friend, Jaime Goff, but that he wanted to try murder.
I was planning to murder him. And is there any specific reason why you planned this? No, there's not.
And once they did that, yes, so the gun was left on.
So you was just like chilling with him. Was like, I'm gonna murder this dude. Just want to try it out.
Ground. Maybe about 10 to 20 seconds after he started calling, he walked away, and I went for the gun and grabbed the extra magazine from my pocket. However, I'm not very skilled in firearms, so I didn't load the magazine correctly and was able to chamber around. Attempted to shoot my father once, and then I feigned putting the gun down and then tried to shoot him again. Not very good at firearms, so I didn't I wasn't able to kill him. But after that, yes, he took the gun away from me. I sat back down on the couch, waited for them to arrive, basically the whole process of them tending to sister's wounds. After I came back, she was rolled off on the ground. Yes, and then that's when the police arrived. I was put in cuffs and carried up to the squad car. And after that, for a while after...
This man ain't leave not one detail out of this little summary of what he's given his officer. This is one highly sophisticated person. And that's what's even more scary, is the fact that you have dumb murderers, and you also have extremely smart people murdering murderers. And that's how the smart people, they get away with it. So they turn into serial killers. Dumb murderers get caught after once. So somewhat he's kind of in between. But I'm not really sure. It's kind of hard to read this. It's kind of hard to read him right now.
Can't remember what order is it. It's either fire truck or an ambulance ride, but that's this deal. Basically.
Wow. Okay.
Sonny explains everything in a very distanced way, including his own arrest, as if he's completely detached from the world around him. Depersonalization involves feeling detached from oneself, as if observing one's thoughts, emotions, and actions from a distance. Other symptoms include feeling emotionally numb, disconnected from one's surroundings, and experiencing memory difficulties. Sonny makes no effort to hide his intentions either. He references his sister's body.
He's not really experiencing any memory problems. But the way he just describes shit, he does seem like he's not a human being.
Instead of calling her by name. Again, at this point in time, Sonny doesn't know whether she's dead or hide his intentions either. He references his sister's body instead of calling her by name. Again, at this point in time, Sonny doesn't know whether she's dead or alive. He also openly admits to trying to shoot his father twice. He could have taken the opportunity to claim he had a change of heart in an effort to potentially look better, but instead admits that he wanted to and would have shot his father if the gun had not stopped working. Unfortunately, there's no other information about why exactly the gun stopped working. Chillingly, he shows absolutely no remorse and continues to sound cold, detached, flat, and methodical. He might as well be describing how to put a computer together piece by piece.
When you were putting the magazine into the weapon and chamber the round, what was your plan?
Initially, my idea was kill father, mother, sister in order of threat. So for some reason, though, I didn't go along with that. I'm not sure. Suppose I didn't really act the way I was planned.
For some reason, Sonny ranks his family in order of threat. It could be assumed that he means he intended to kill them in order of who was best equipped to disarm and stop him. But that isn't necessarily true. The officer will have to follow up on this later. For now, though, he lets Sonny maintain his train of thought, and it's important that the interrogator doesn't interrupt once they get a suspect talking. This is because it allows them to get their full, uninfluenced account of what happened, and the interrogation only gets stranger.
And the idea was walk into the bedroom, both parents were either sleeping or resting, kill father, kill mother, and then walk out into the living room and kill her. Order of that magnitude, I forget the word, but anyway, that was the plan. However, I suppose humans act in weird ways, and me being human, I'm susceptible to the same thing. And why I wore the gloves is because I figured my hands would get sweaty in humans. Nervousness in humans and such, so I wore them so, I would be able to maintain my grip on the weapon and such. However, still, humans didn't act very smart in a way. Basically, unloaded all around.
Humans are extremely unpredictable. So even if this plan went according to how he said it was going to go to, then it's just you can't really plan anything with fucking. You can't really do that. You can't really.
I meant to only put 1 or 2 in there, but I don't know. I've never shot someone before, so they seem like blanks. basically nothing. There wasn't any discernible impact or anything. So I just kept on shooting, and then after that, walked up to the and moved to my parents' store. And
so you didn't know what the fuck you were doing, and you proceeded to keep going just off impulse or instinct. I mean, okay, it seems like he tried to plan this out, but it's hard to, plan things out, but also you got to plan with your emotional state as well. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to be some type of, like, you got to have some type of collision with your emotions and also the plan as well, in order for the plan to even go like 80% correct. Like I said, humans are extremely unpredictable, bro. So, but it just seemed like he had a plan, and after that, after he started doing it, he was just winging it. He was just winging the shit.
There with weapon in my right hand,
right,
and then magazine in left hand, and then I dropped him on the ground.
Nicole Brazel, Sonny's mother, ran an embroidery business out of the house, teaching textile arts to students. His stepfather, Alan, had accepted Sonny like his own son. Sonny's sister, Ashley, was known to be outgoing and had been enjoying her time at college in Colorado. In the 6th grade, Sonny asked his mother if he could drop out of school, in large part because he felt bored. He was homeschooled for a while, and at 13, he started working for a company who his mother had a contract with, before working at a computer store. At 15, he started at the Georgia Military College, where he completed high school classes alongside college classes.
In Albion, no matter where you go or what you do, your mount will accompany you on your journey. Perhaps you'll pick the ox, a merchant's best friend.
Altogether, they appeared to be the picture of a happy family. In an exclusive interview, Sonny talks about his childhood in more detail and about his relationship with his mother and sister.
What happened to you, dude?
My father left the country and went to Seoul, Korea, and my mother kept us afloat tooth and nail, and she fought for us. Prior to my incarceration, I was actively working at Computer Exchange and taking classes at GMC, and I was, I suppose, living a good life. I was always provided for. I was always taken care of, and I had loving parents every step of the way. And she got us out of debt. Eventually, we were, a stable household. She met Alan, and he's a great guy. So I have had a really wonderful set of parents that I don't think I could have asked for. I owe everything to them. Pretty much everything good in my life that they've been responsible for in some way, shape, or form. Ashley was the bigger sister. She had the kindest heart out of all of us. Ashley got a lot of our kindness. I'm not sure what I got. I lean on her a lot for a lot of things. She was, between her and my mother, they were the only two stable things I really had in my life. Ashley was someone you could always come to, and she was always put together. I could always trust her judgment. I suppose I get my morals from her. She had a real heart for people. I love that about her.
So this kind of like, I guess, orbits around back to my question at the beginning of the video. What drove you to do this?
He was her favorite out of everybody, and she was his favorite. They had the most in common. They were both very smart, very high IQs.
Yet Sonny manages to erase all of that personality and all of that love in the interrogation room. This clinical and detached way of speaking appears to be a symptom of depersonalization, which is closely related to dissociative amnesia and dissociative identity disorder, two very serious mental illnesses. There's no anger here, no emotion at all, and no indication that he had major issues with his family. It's almost like he was possessed and is now just describing what he saw. He's speaking like the lights are on, but nobody's home.
I suppose I just saw her, and I didn't recognize her as a son, but shot the first person I saw, I suppose. Mm-hmm. Not a reaction. Obviously, I actually did not the way I intended to, as it didn't make enough room or take into account, the way humans act.
Right.
Being mainly me as far as humans go. Yeah. So,
with Sonny so forthcoming regarding the details of the crime, the investigator seeks to confirm what Sonny's stepfather, Alan Brazel, told them about the crime.
When your father went to chase after you in the bedroom, what bedroom was that?
It was the largest bedroom. It's the master bedroom, the one where they sleep.
Okay.
So yeah, I had a large king size bed.
And you told me that you had, at that point in time, you had dropped the weapon, and then you reached down and picked it up about 20 seconds later. Is that correct?
It was about 2-3 feet, about a meter away from me.
Right.
So I ran from the couch, grabbed it, and then ran off. And then eventually I take the magazine from my pocket.
What were you trying to do when you ran away?
My plan was to grab the weapon and load the magazine and shoot my father, and then shoot my mother.
Okay. And your father ran after you and caught you in the bedroom.
Yes.
And you did not have a chance to load the magazine at that point in time, or what happened at?
I did load it, but I fumbled with it, and I did load it into the gun, not all the way though.
Right.
So I wasn't able to pull back the hammer all the way. So I slid.
It's one thing to say you're going to do something, but at the end of the day, you wouldn't know how you're going to react to the situation that you putting yourself in. And on top of that, this seems like a very, like I said, he's a very sophisticated guy, but at the same time, like, if you plan something out, you truly don't, you gotta sort of collide that with your emotional take as well. And it goes around to me, I'm done. I'm gonna stop pausing after this, but it goes around to me saying that at first it seemed like he was extremely sophisticated in what he was doing, but at the same time, he acted off impulse as well, which kind of goes into like a human aspect of just human nature at that. So I was thinking at first like this guy was like being like a robot or some shit, but he has human emotions as well. So as he was committing these devious acts,
Slide back all the way. The second time after I feigned putting the gun down, after he told me, don't do it, etc. After I put it back, I tried to send the magazine back in with the back of my wrist about here.
Just off the fact that he said he was nervous, he was fumbling with the magazine.
Solid either, so he ended up taking the firearm away from me and walked back to the living room.
Did you attempt to pull the trigger while he was coming at you?
Yes.
Okay.
Both times.
Both times. And both times it failed to fire. Is that right? Okay. And that's when your father caught up with you and took the weapon from you. Did you say anything to him after that, or what happened after he got the weapon from you?
After that, I basically he ran back into the living room, put the gun down on the ground, across the living room, away from the couch where I was sitting, which was red. Oh, see, I believe my parents called it. It was a red couch, I knew. And he placed it on the other side and then helped my mother in attending to my sister's wounds. After he put the gun down on the ground, I did consider either running to my room where there was a loaded shotgun or running for the gun.
Nigga, you play League of Legends? Fuck.
However, I didn't act on either, so I figured my chances were low of getting either done, so I didn't think it was worth it.
Hold on,
I took forward on the ground. I did consider either running to my room where there was a loaded shotgun or running for the gun. However, I didn't act on either, so...
Sorry, I gotta pause it, man. He has a loaded shotgun in his room? If this is his room, he has 2 loaded shotguns in his room? Yeah, damn. I don't want to say the family asked for this shit to happen, man, but...
I figured my chances were low of...
That's putting a lot of power in a genius's hand, man. In a genius's hands.
Getting either done, so I didn't think it was worth it.
With Sonny's confession recorded in more than sufficient detail,
like the fuck you thought you just was gonna sprint around the house picking up loot guns?
Such unprovoked violence.
What were you thinking about? What made you want to kill your sister and your parents tonight? What's been going on?
Yeah, man. Let's
well, it's been pretty good, actually. I've got a job, had classes, it's going pretty well. Yeah, I mean, nothing really is bad been happening to me. Nothing pretty good though.
Nothing bad? You just wanted to do it?
Not even wanted. I just did.
Okay. Let's back up. Excuse me. A few minutes ago, we were talking about when you were loading putting the rounds in the magazine, and then loading that magazine into your weapon. And you said that the initial plan was to go to your parents' room and then shoot them first, and then go into your living room where your sister was and then shoot her.
Yes.
What made you deviate from that plan?
I don't know. When I first saw my sister, and the first thought, I suppose, was, I don't know.
I'm about to shoot this bitch. That's what you thought? You just walk in and saw your sister and be like, I'm just about to shoot her. Fuck, dude.
I was supposed to go to my parents' room and kill father and mother, but I saw my sister, and for some reason I
acted off impulse.
Don't know why. I remember the magazine into her torso.
Is there any reason why you want to kill everybody? I mean, did they hurt you?
No.
Have they made life miserable for you? Are they abusive to you physically?
Not now.
None whatsoever. There was no reason for it. It just
not anymore.
I can think of.
Okay.
In 2 words, Sonny provides what could be very important information.
The 8 Sleep Pod Cover. It's a liquid-cooled mattress topper that is clinically proven to give you better sleep. So let me tell you why I love it so much. First off, it's just super convenient to change the temperature of my bed at a moment's notice. Sometimes I like it really warm, and other times, like when I shower before bed, I like it cool. And of course, it's zone controlled too, so if you sleep with someone else who has different preferences, no problem. There's only one.
Bitch, that bed like a good fucking 7,000. I'm just kidding. Ain't no bed costing that much.
Abused as a child, this may give some insight into his detached behavior.
Yeah.
As ongoing physical child, this may give some very important information. If he had been abused as a child, this may give some insight into his detached behavior. As ongoing
it's like
physical
a regular
abuse
kid
is
right
often the accepted explanation behind pathological dissociative behavior or disorders. This could be in reference to Sonny's biological father, who was allegedly neglectful. But Sonny doesn't elaborate, so the officer tries honing in on a different part of the crime.
What made you want to kill your mother and father?
There wasn't really any motivation for it. Actually, one thing, oh yeah, no, never mind. I told you about trying to shoot my father and then failing and then trying again. Never mind. But as far as motivation for killing my parents, none really existed.
It's one thing flat out beating a kid. It's one thing disciplining them. I think people get those too confused. It's one thing to just beat your fucking kid, and it's another thing to discipline them.
My father did a lot of the chores. My mother worked quite hard at her job. Father assisted my mother at her job. I mean, we all had a relatively good life.
Right. Did you get a sense of satisfaction when this was going on?
No, I didn't really feel anything.
And your mother was tending to your sister's wounds, like you said, and you were considering, when she was asking you why did you do it?
Did that a number of times.
Yeah, I'm sure. What was running through your mind when she said that?
At the moment, the only thing that I was thinking of really was either the gun, and then after, the gun or the shotgun in my room passed through my mind, I didn't really think of much.
Yo, what up, cuzzo? How you feeling, man?
You were still in your plan mode of, can I get a weapon and kill mom and dad?
Yes.
Is that what you were thinking?
Yes.
Did that make you happy?
No.
Did it make you sad?
No, I didn't really feel much. It just sort of happened.
Do you have any idea why it just happened?
Not really.
Sonny's answer of not really here is interesting. He actually seems to not understand it himself.
No, I was going to say that an opportunity presented itself to kill my family, and I just did it for no reason, but having had weapons in my room for basically 1 or 2 years now, that's, I've had the opportunity.
I mean, just having that shit around your kid, like the kid just... It's almost like second nature for you to have certain fucked up thoughts when you being around something that can literally take a person's life. Like, just being around it, being in that vicinity of such destructive weapons can really have a kid mind just going somewhere where it shouldn't go at a certain age, and at some point it can lead up to something bigger. In a case like Christopher's or Sonny's, I'm about to pass. You talking about freshman year? You finna pass 8th grade? Am I saying? Damn, it's April 30th. Hey, that's what I like to hear, cuz. That's what I like to hear, bro. You doing good shit, man. It's good shit, bro. Keep going, man. Keep going. Take education extremely seriously, bro. Extremely seriously.
Oh, wow.
Well, why did you decide tonight?
Tonight was, I suppose it was a bit spontaneous.
Yeah, that will get you the most pussy you can ever imagine.
I thought as 6 days to Christmas or something like that. But that mother, my mother would tell me, had to wrap the gun the next day or something along those lines. So I figured the likelihood of her wrapping the gun next day is fairly high. So best to do it now while I still have access to the firearm.
Even though Sonny's rationale for committing the crime tonight is disturbing, it still doesn't
He
entirely
obviously
make
wasn't
sense.
thinking rationally, bro. Obviously.
Even if the gun had been wrapped and placed under the Christmas tree, Sonny would have still had access to it and multiple other firearms he could have used in the attack.
I guess no matter how oh my god, no matter how smart a person may seem, when you bring murder into when you bring murder into the equation, I guess no matter who the person is, if you haven't did it before, no matter how smart you are, bro, that is one tough ass task to carry out. Cause man.
Is this something you thought about doing for a while, or is this something that you've been thinking about for the past couple minutes?
It was sort of impulsive and not really something.
What did I? Bro, am I not a goat? Am I not a goat, bro? Am I not a goat? Am I not a goat, y'all? Am I not a goat? Am I not a goat? I'm sorry, I'm done. I just have to flatter myself right there, because, like, I should have went to school to be a fucking detective.
Here, Sonny expresses
Holy
an impulsive
shit!
element to his actions, which supports the fact that he may struggle to differentiate between his thoughts and the reality of acting out his thoughts.
What ultimately made you decide to shoot your sister
That
in the
was
chest?
so fucking zesty. What did I flatter myself?
I don't know. Something in my, I can't remember what it was, but something in my mind basically led to me loading the gun, and that, what was it doing?
Something interesting happens when Sonny tries to talk about what was going through his mind in the moments before the shooting. Well spoken up to this point, Sonny starts to stumble over his words,
This is the exact first time he stumbles over his words.
Partial thoughts and attempting to start his sentence over.
Something in my, I can't remember what it was, but something in my mind basically led to me.
When he isn't able to describe what he thought or felt, he reverts to talking about the physical details.
But basically ended up loading the gun, and after the gun was loaded in my bedroom, I walked out. And I suppose at that point, I don't know what I was thinking, but suppose I just shot it. I don't really have much of an explanation.
And it's instances where it's been known instances where, you know, the human mind goes blank at certain times. So that could be something that happens right there. Your mind just go blank, or that you literally your mind can go to like a instant shock. You know what I'm saying? Before you end up doing something. So technically, it probably wasn't him that even. Just like the human mind, man, it's such a strong thing that that needs to be studied way more. The power of the human mind is something that needs to be studied. And that's literally something that literally can't be explained. Like in the other video, we literally learned that people can just have seizures just off mental episodes, or just off a mentality thing. Like it's the human mind is just crazy, man. This thing called I forgot the placenta effect, some shit like that, man. Something like that. I've got to read up on it, but I'm gonna just let the video play out.
Emotions were running through you when this was going on.
Nothing much.
Were you happy? Were you sad? Or what?
I'm sorry, but I gotta say, like the placenta effect is like it's like something. I'm probably saying it wrong, but it's like a phenomenon where if you really believe something, then it'll happen. Like, for example, with drugs, a person might take a fake drug or whatever. You take that certain drug and it probably has no effect. It's probably a fake drug. It probably has no effect on the body whatsoever. But if your mind solely thinks that, damn, I'm high as hell, then you start feeling the effects of being high, even if the drug is fake. That's probably like the most simplest terms I can honestly put it in.
Did you care?
Kind of stood there, I suppose.
Okay.
Well, I can talk to y'all, man, but
words is likely a sign of anxiety.
Niggas don't like when I pause
so he
the video.
retreats back into the world of dissociated details. This could be due to a lack of comfort or understanding of emotions to begin with.
If you think killing your family, it's wrong?
Yes, it is socially and morally wrong.
Okay.
So you know it's wrong.
You were going to get in trouble if that was to happen?
Yes, I was.
He had no
certainly
motive to
apprehended by
kill.
his voice.
Okay.
Probably, besides, probably the only motive he probably had to kill was the fact that he was beaten on as a kid. But I want to say that just statistically, I want to say just off the top of my head, just hypothetically thinking, damn near every kid low-key just been hit as a kid. Does every kid that's been hit on by their parents kill their parents? No. So that can probably that could be a motive, but at the end of the day, like, it could probably just be of the fact that just something mentally. But like I said, man, like just being around shit that can honestly take lives is tempting, man, because those thoughts. And as a kid, like I said, like, when did this stepdad begin to get into his life? That's what this guy needs to start asking, man, about those guns that's been in the house, man. Like, you gotta start picking at his brain, bro.
But you still went through with it anyways.
Yes.
Why?
He doesn't know,
Don't
man.
know.
He just said he acts off impulse, man.
It was out of curiosity, boredom, or something else.
Chillingly, curiosity or boredom could have very well been the case, as Sonny admits.
Yeah, of course.
Although he seems to lack empathy, there's a degree of self-awareness here. When a person lacks empathy,
bro.
there's little to no attention placed on how another person...
Pause, my nigga. It's my video. I'm gonna pause. I'm sorry, but the thought just sort of vanished.
...would feel. The presence of empathy is critical because it is, in large part, what directs moral decision-making. Without it, someone like Sonny may just act on impulse or out of sheer curiosity or boredom. Sonny identifies over and over that he doesn't understand.
And that's normal with sophisticated individuals. That's just normal. That's in order to gain information, you need to be curious. But to this case, such extremely smart individuals can, yeah, man. It's just a case of not insanity. It's not insanity. It's just a case of it's just an extremely sophisticated individual, man. You know, and sometimes, like I said, their brains just work extremely differently. Not to a point where they're insane, but to a point where they just very extremely curious.
Why he did this.
Welcome to Flatiron School. This is where you learn how the future works. Where the whole point of...
It's just sort of happened. I don't really it's either I don't remember, or I'm suppressing memory, or there is no reason. Getting towards this, there's not really much of a reason. So like getting impulsive about it.
You knew you were going to get in trouble.
Yes.
You knew it was wrong.
Yes.
You knew you were going to get caught, but you didn't care.
Yes.
Altogether, the detective interviewing Sonny has acquired a significant amount of evidence.
Yeah, man. That's a good detective
The
work.
only remaining missing puzzle piece is the motive. With enough material to charge Sonny, the question of his motive will be left to be uncovered during trial.
All right, well, give me just a minute. I'll be right back, okay?
Has no motive.
After the officer leaves, Sonny immediately goes back to talking to himself.
Well, no, see, the 1060 would be... Oh, no, yeah, we moved on from GPUs. It was, what was it? Enzo. No, not Enzo. Ryzen, that's what it's called. AMD's new AM4, DDR4, etc. architecture. I can't remember the chipset names. Yeah, the chipset names were really just I can't remember what it was. I think it was like, I don't know what it was. Yeah, so DDR4 a bit late. I mean, it's sort of meh, but I don't know.
It only takes 3 minutes for the officer to return and tell Sonny what charges he will officially be facing.
All right, Christopher. You are going to be arrested, okay? You'll be arrested for murder. Yes. Murder for your sister. Aggravated assault on your father for trying to shoot him as well. And then possession of a weapon during the commission of a felony, okay? You expected all that, though, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Well, we're going to move forward with the charges. And I want to let you know that that's, as of right now, what you're going to be charged with, okay?
Okay.
So just hang tight. Someone will be with you shortly, and we'll get this underway as far as getting you transported to the jail and booked and everything like that, okay?
Okay.
All right.
Tragically, Ashley Kim succumbed to her injuries before the paramedics arrived. Emergency services attempted to resuscitate her, but they were unsuccessful. She was declared dead on the scene shortly after Sonny was arrested.
It said he put like 8 bullets. 8 bullets was in that Ruger, so if you expected this girl to even somehow pull it through, like, come on, man. Who's taking a whole clip in the torso?
In our conversation with Sonny's parents, they remembered their daughter fondly.
She was the pretty girl that was
nice,
unmistakably not a mean girl.
Yeah, she wasn't a mean girl. She had a good heart. Good
There's a lot of people that spoke at her funeral that said, you know, Ashley didn't have to be nice to me, but she did. She didn't hold grudges.
She was a free bird, free spirit.
She was a free spirit. She was
full of love. You know, love's the greatest power, and she was.
Because stay focused. Because in high school, you gonna come across a lot of how do I say this? A lot of individuals that tends to follow. Gonna come across a lot of girls that's not that's not your twin flame or whatever, bro. Just stay in your lane, man, and like I said, bro, take your education extremely seriously. Just off experience, bro.
Full of love.
She was. She was very kind, very loving.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, everybody loved Ashley.
She loved absurd things. Oh, she had a terrible sense of humor about, like, what is it called? A dark sense of humor. She had the darkest sense of humor, just like the most morbid things. Her and a sister of mine too. She loved morbid. That's the thing I miss most about, like, her laughing, because she would giggle about, like, things that she's somebody you couldn't sit next to at a funeral. You could not. You'd be like, sit over there because you had me laughing. Everyone's gonna be looking at me. Ashley loved people. She saw the goodness in people. She really, really did. So many times. Matter of fact, she's who helped me forgive my ex-husband, because I felt like he had really bailed on us. But she was.
All right, shut up. You're talking too much. That is fucking hilarious. Why would you say that? Okay, it's not funny, man.
It's like he wasn't ready to be a dad, Mom. She had such a forgiving spirit in her giggle. I always will never forget her giggle. I thought I would at one point. I was grieving. She had a funny giggle, and she had love. And to honor her memory, I choose love. I choose to forgive everyone who's made a mistake, not just Sonny. I choose to live Ashley's joy, because she had joy, because she chose forgiveness, because, you know, that's weighty.
Ascension WoW is a standalone World of Warcraft private server that reimagines WoW.
An autopsy confirmed Sonny's claim that he had shot Ashley 8 times. She had wounds on most parts of her body except for her head, including her arms, legs, and chest. Despite the extent of her injuries, her death was not immediate. It was determined that Ashley's lungs had filled with blood, and she'd perished while her parents attempted to administer CPR before the ambulance arrived. However, her injuries were so severe that it was unlikely Ashley could have survived, even if help had arrived sooner.
I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be that guy, but she went out looking at her parents, bro.
Their parents were likely grieving the massively traumatic death of one child at the hands of another. Sonny remains unbothered as ever. After learning of his sister's demise, Sonny simply checks his watch and goes back to talking with himself.
I would bash this man, but like, what can I say, bro? Like, something is not. He's smart as fuck, but he's not 100% okay up there, bro. It's one thing being smart as hell and being. Oh, I'm gonna shut up. Let me gather my thoughts.
We kind of
It's one thing using that smartness to do something with it, but using that smartness just to get thrown in jail. And honestly, were you really that smart? That goes to show me that IQ literally doesn't mean jack shit.
Our 7 was like, yeah, Netflix 4K was only worth on.
Because now you in there with niggas with IQ lower than 60.
Something like that. By the way, in Windows 10, sure, it can gather information, and even if it's not telling you when it's Windows 10. My Captain would provide because we've seen some Blender. Why Blender? I'm never sure why. He's got animation, UV mapping, and your sleep pattern.
Even when officers arrived to take him to jail, he remained stoic.
See, this what I look. This is what I would have. I don't know. I graduated from an IT support school, but this is like the shit he's talking about. Don't drop the subject exactly, cause to tell that nigga do not. This nigga, cause I don't know. This nigga is crazy. He's not crazy. Just I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on up there. As I was gonna say, I graduated from an IT support school, and I would have been doing shit like this, just talking about computers all day. And man, I don't want to do that. No, I don't want to.
Alright, so
I'm gonna do my own thing.
you put the hand behind the back.
That's some small risk, huh? Christopher, this deputy that's right behind you, he's going to take you up to our jail, get your fingerprinted and processed, and get the jail paperwork started on your charges. Okay?
What's the in your stuff, alright?
With Sonny detained, experts were left to ponder his blatantly absent motive. There seemed to be no reason for him to shoot and kill Ashley, and then attempt to kill his stepfather, Alan.
So yeah, she was my moral compass and my safety net and big sister, all of that.
Experts could not come up with a full explanation for his actions, but they did develop a theory. It was possible that Sonny's abrupt, out-of-character violence was possibly caused by a psychotic episode.
He didn't realize for a long time. It was probably 8 months maybe before he even realized it. Most people will not like my answer, but the Sonny that night when this happened was my son's body, but it was not his spirit. Sonny was not there. Was there ever any kind of emotion on his face?
Not for a year and a half.
And it was bad enough that he basically, while he was in juvenile hall, awaiting trial, he had no taste.
Crazy person too?
Everything tasted like burning plastic.
He had a psychological snap. Something happened. They explained to us later that everything tasted like burning plastic, all the food he was eating. So
the only thing he could eat was
what's your
plain dry
experience?
cereal. That's what he lived on.
Sonny apparently told a psychologist.
I'm thinking like they could have at least tested him for some type of drugs. Some type of drug. Like, did he do anything? MDMA, acid, shrooms, meth, heroin. What the fuck did you do to have a psychotic episode, bro? I'm just thinking like to the shit where shit tasting like burning plastic. Like, come on, man.
Just that his memory of the murder felt like watching someone else, or looking into a parallel dimension.
Maybe just text me. Don't text
my
that.
business because of
don't
its
tell
massive
us
scope for functionality and
Twitch
I
chat.
felt like the strings had been cut, for lack of a better word.
This is the textbook definition of a depersonalization episode. Although a psychotic episode is a possibility, Sonny isn't showing any indications of psychosis in the interrogation room.
Okay.
He may be talking to himself, but this could be due to stress or nervousness.
I was thinking maybe he was seeing hallucinations, but I'm like, no. I'm like, nah. Because he just made way too much eye contact with the detective. Like, nah, ain't no way he's seeing hallucinations.
It's not sufficient to conclude that he's psychotic. Sonny shows no signs of delusional thinking, and he doesn't seem to be responding to hallucinations. His thought process is logical and coherent overall, though he demonstrated indications of a developmental delay like autism spectrum disorder. Typically, psychotic episodes are preceded by changes in behavior that would have been evident to his parents or other adults.
I didn't want to say it, but I'm like, he could be going on that side of the spectrum.
Though this is not always the case. Sonny and Ashley's parents once again weigh in on this incredibly complicated aspect of the case.
The thing I want people most to know is I know a lot of people have said since this has happened, well, what about Ashley? And why can you still be loyal to your son? I'm loyal to my son because, like I said, he was not there. It was not done in some kind of malicious intent. There was no fight.
You gotta get your kids tested for that shit, man. Cause who knows, bro? Because as he was talking to himself, I'm like, he probably on the spectrum. And just to kill somebody with no motive, no emotion. I mean, that explains a lot. That just explains a lot that he had autism. That just explains a lot. But at the same time, would I forgive my son for that? It would be my fault. But I gotta blame myself. I gotta blame myself at the end of the day.
There was no argument. There was no fuss. There was only love between him and his sister. There was nothing crazy going on, nothing funny going on. It was just unbelievable that it happened, and it's hard for me.
They lost their family just like that, bro. Just like that. Just like that. Damn.
To even believe it now, even though I was probably the best witness that was there the whole night, that I actually saw the most.
They got to be traumatizing.
Heard the most. Pretty much knew the most because I knew what was going on from the sounds. I knew what it was, and I've stuck by Sonny. Me and his mom have stuck by Sonny. First off, because we love him and he's our son, and we'd stick by him anyway. This was not something that, you know, was like in a fit of anger, or it was not a planned out thing that, you know, that he hated her or he was jealous of her or any of the stuff that they tried to say. They tried to say that he was jealous because she was outgoing and he wasn't.
I was a single mom, and my ex-husband, I didn't have money. And this wonderful man wasn't in my life yet.
That kid, Sonny, he's smart, so I'm sure I'm sure he can tell the difference between him and his sister. But just off the pictures alone, bro.
I think back about the time she had to babysit, because I couldn't afford a babysitter and be at my shop. Because she babysat him, he holds so many character traits of her.
Yeah, man.
And I know other people want him destroyed, but he's all I have left of her.
Additionally, while awaiting trial at Regional Youth Detention Center, Sonny reportedly harmed himself multiple times by slamming his head into the wall and biting himself so hard that he broke a tooth. Eventually, he was diagnosed by several doctors with Asperger's, along with undisclosed disorders that are similar to schizophrenia.
Okay, what is Asperger's? What is Asperger? What is Asperger? Okay, autism. Y'all ain't get y'all kids checked for this shit.
As a result of this potential diagnosis, Sonny's defense team attempted to have his confession dismissed.
That's why he was talking to. I'm like, oh, I gotta start. See, that's why I gotta like relay the information to y'all. I'm like, when he talking to himself about computers, it seems like he's talking as if somebody's talking to him. This could be a schizophrenic. Like,
claiming that it was not given when he was of sound mind. The judge ruled that while the diagnosis could be valid, a psychotic episode or any of Sonny's other diagnoses would not impede his intelligence. He allowed the video of Sonny's interrogation to be played in full. The Brazels were not pleased by this decision and maintained that some aspects of the case were mishandled from the beginning.
A few minutes later, an investigator showed up and he was explaining the situation to me. He said, you know, we're going to take him down. He said, but we can't speak to him until his parents get there, you and your wife get there.
It's crazy. They put him in the car. I never saw that, but I was in the front yard.
Right. So they had already put him in the car by this time. They said, you know, they explained that they had to take him, you know, to, I guess, Columbia County Jail or whatever it was. So they took him to jail and said, as soon as we finish up here, it's up, you know, we're going to call you and you'll have to come down so we can interview him, your son.
But as you saw in the earlier footage, neither parent was present for Sonny's interrogation.
Yeah, but by 8 o'clock, we realized they're not going to talk to us at all. And so it's weeks before we can get any conversation with them. They even to get Sonny a public defender, because he went into the indictment with no attorney. No parental support, nothing. He was in there on his own, but we were begging to try to go, but they wouldn't let us.
He needed to go punch a 6'4" brolic dude. That's what he needs to do.
It was probably, a year later before we actually saw the video. the first court session that we went to, we immediately started calling the police department and pretty much, got no answers. They wouldn't really tell us anything.
They told us that we couldn't talk to them because they charged him as an adult. And do you know that they didn't even give him a public defender for 4 weeks?
Ultimately, in July of 2019, Sonny pleaded guilty by reason of mental illness to murder, aggravated assault, and 2 counts of possession of a firearm. He was sentenced to life in prison, plus 25 years, but will be eligible for parole in 30 years. Because he was convicted by reason of mental illness, he will continue to receive psychological counseling during that time. Sonny's parents continue to stand by him, and despite the terrible tragedy, the family has remained close.
And he tells us all the time that he is very aware and very grateful that we are still his parents and that we love him and support him, because he knows that there are a lot of people in there that lost all of their family ties and everything whenever whatever they did happened.
He treasures it.
He said, I want y'all to know, he said, you can't ever know, he said, how much that I appreciate it and everything. He said, that you're still my mom and dad, you still support me, you never threw me away, you never.
He says he works so hard in there every day to be worthy of that.
Right.
In our exclusive interview, we asked Sonny if he remembered the day of his sister's death.
I do, yes. It was terrifying for me. It's the strangest feeling, and it probably sounds ridiculous, I know it will, but when I walked into my room, the second I walked through my door frame, there was a shift. There's something different. I couldn't really think. My body was moving, but I wasn't able to think.
We asked how long it took for him to start processing what happened.
I think I'm still struggling with it to this day. But I suppose for the vast majority of it.
He got mental illnesses stacked like fucking perks in a video game. Like, that's just crazy, man. That's fucking crazy. I wouldn't expect him to. But like, man, I would like for anybody else, bro. Like, hell no. But like, you got a mental illness is something that you can't, as a person, you can't help yourself. So.
I didn't speak for those first 3 or 4 months when I was at the juvenile detention center. I still don't really know what to think. There's these times when I've broken down about it, but my brain's like won't let me process it. Like every time I try and think about it, I still don't fully process what's happened. I know empirically what's happened, but to this day I don't understand why it happened.
With this response in mind, we asked Sonny if he worried that a similar incident could happen again if he was released.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
It's always there. I was kind of eager to accept a plea deal. Already kind of consoled myself with the thought that I'll be spending the rest of my life in prison, and I'm okay with that. And I don't really know if I want to be around my loved ones, knowing that something like this could happen.
On a lighter topic, we asked Sonny to tell us a bit about his life now and what his days look like.
We normally eat breakfast at about 7 o'clock in the morning. For me, that's when I wake up. My activities used to be different. I used to teach a math class, but nowadays mostly I just have self-studies, write a few stories, I like to read. I used to be really active, going to the library. I've lost a lot of that energy now, and most of my days are just spent idling, I suppose.
We asked Sonny what people could learn from his circumstances, and he offered us some remarkable insight.
If you do have a family member, a friend, son, daughter, child, whatever that is, experiencing symptoms of disassociation, right? If they're too withdrawn from their environment or their surroundings, important that they be associated with something in the world. It's important to not let people get too far gone.
Our final question was about Ashley and what Sonny would like all of us to know about her.
She was one of those rare people in the world that cared out of her heart, and she didn't do things out of some desire for potential gain or benefit. She cared for everyone, regardless of whether or not she knew them. I have a lot of great memories of my sister. I'd say if there was one thing I'd want people to remember is that she was the kind of people that is very rare, genuinely cared about people around them. I love her for it. I love her for it now that I can truly appreciate what it means.
We want to extend the utmost gratitude to Alan and Nicole Brazell for being so open and for allowing us to share their side of this heartbreaking case.
Like I said, man, it's something that he genuinely couldn't help. Mental illness is something that I can't even explain. So I'm not even gonna try to break it down. Shit, like shit, like, man, like I said, bro, like it's something like severely, like seriously, that people just can't control at times. So I'm not gonna bash him for what he did. But was that a tragic moment? Yes. Was it fucked up? Yes. Did Ashley deserve it? No. But like I said, man, it's just some shit that you don't speak on, just off the fact that you can't speak on it. You have none of that. Yeah, that is when a genius snaps, bro.